today we're going to be making a birthday gnome. I've got them all made up here with this birthday bouquet, and we're going to show you how to do that today. So let's get crafting. So on my table here I have what we're going to use to put them together, and I've already filled the sock up with it's a nice big gray sock, and I filled it up to not quite the heel with stuffing. I didn't put any marbles in the bottom of this time. It's just like this is how we want to do that, and I got that started. And we're going to be using some pom-poms for the balloon bouquet and some pipe cleaners, and I have his beard cut out with an X-Acto knife. I have the shoes made. We're going to be putting the marbles in the shoes this time. I've had a lot of people suggest that they think that would be a better idea to put the marbles in the shoes, and I've been experimenting with it. And so that's how we're going to do it today with the gnome. We're going to put the marbles in the shoes and see how that works. And I've gone ahead and made a couple of noses, a couple of hands, ahead of time, and just left the nose to do, because I know most of you know how to do the noses and hands by now, how I usually do them. So I'm just going to do one nose for you, and I'm just going to do one sleeve. I have one sleeve done, and we're going to make a sleeve together, a bell sleeve. We're calling them a bell sleeve. And that's what I've got here. So give me a minute and I'll get this cleared off my table and we'll get started. Okay, so let's get going. The first thing I want to do on the sock gnome is to bring down his hat. Bring down it pretty tight over him. What I did with this one is I put a little bit of fiberfill in the hat area, just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of shape. Just kind of wrap it around inside there. And then pay attention to where the band is on the bottom of the sock. I like that to be the front, and I can always, when I'm working, I always find that band, and I know that I'm at the front of the sock, the front where the face is going to be in the nose. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is make up the nose and put the nose on there. I've got the hands made, so we'll make the nose. Now, for anybody that's watching for the first time, this is also how we make the hands. We take about a 5x5 piece of felt, and this is how we do it. And the hands are slightly bigger than this. This will be the nose. Take a little bit of fiberfill, put it right in the middle of your felt, and use your thumb and push that right up in there. You want a nice round little nose. See where I have my rubber bands here. And you just want to wrap it up with your rubber band. If it looks like it's going to get too big for you, then bring the rubber band up higher. And that'll reduce its size a lot. Just keep bringing the rubber band closer to the top of the nose. But like that. You got a nice little nose there. You cut it off. Get as much extra off that you can without cutting your rubber band. And then what we want to do is look for that sock seam in the front of the gnome, and that's the front of our gnome. We want to put the nose in there. I always kind of put him in there first. See how I'm going to glue him. It's going to look about like that. And then I put the glue on there and put him in. I hope you can all see what I'm doing here. We're close enough. And hold that down good. I'll be right back with you. Okay, so we have the nose on, and the next thing I want to do is put the shoes on. The shoes are full of marbles this time. I made them ahead of time. If you're just watching for the first time, I do have a shoe video out you can go watch. It's 8 minutes long. It'll tell you how to make the shoes. The only thing we're doing differently from the video is instead of putting the marbles in the belly of the gnome, we're putting the marbles in the shoes of the gnome. A lot of people have suggested they thought that would work better, and so that we're going to try that out and see how I did try it out on this first one, and it seemed that it worked really well. So we're going to try that today. So we're stretching out the bottom here and getting it ready to cross that seam on the bottom. And then we're going to put the glue on the top of the shoes. Now I've got Hanes little anklet socklets on here that I got at Walmart. There were several different colors in the package. And then I embellished them with some pom-poms that I got at Joann's Fabrics. And I think we're going to be limited on supplies here pretty quick, since we're staying home and being safe. So you want to put that right on there and hold it down nice and straight up, and I'll be right back with you. So I've got them all pulled out of there, and there's your arm before I put any stuffing in it. I'm going to put a little bit of stuffing in there. It'll be way up high. You could take a long brush and put it up high. About right there, just like I have it on the other one. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to hold the arms up to the gnome, and we're probably going to cut off a good, we want them to fall about like that. We have to tuck some in, so we're going to cut off about 1 inch from both of these. This is something I always do. I make them too long on purpose because I want to be able to cut them just right. So we're going to glue the tops, close them up, and then we're going to put the arms right on there underneath the hat. So let me do that. Okay, so I've got the arms glued on. They're still setting a little bit. And I want to go ahead and put on the hands. One of the things I didn't explain to you that I will real quick is that when I do the arms, I'm doing them so the seams are looking out. The seams are looking out. One's going to the back and one's going out. And then when I glue the hands on, I glue them right into the front seam, right like that. Right into the front seam. You don't worry about them hanging there or anything. You're not going to be able to see anything. You just want to glue them into the front seam and you're done. I'm just tacking down the back of the hat here now that I have the sleeves in place. I put a little glue underneath there and I'm holding it for a couple of minutes. So the next thing I want to do is get his flower attached to his hat and put some glitter on his nose and hands. Now usually I use Rust-Oleum Glitter Burst glitter for it, but I've been making so many of these lately I'm out of it. So I'm going to use a different brand of the glitter glue on the nose and the hands. I'm also going to use a little bit of the blush that I saved special for the gnomes. I'm going to put a little bit of blush on his nose before I put the glitter glue on there. And then I'll let y'all kind of peek in while I'm doing all that. We'll get that part done. Now the next thing I want to do is put his beard on. I've got his shoes all attached on there nicely. He's standing up well. I don't have to plunk him quite as hard when the marbles are in the shoes. So after trying back and forth, what I like the best, I think I'm going to go with marbles in the shoes. So now we're going to put the beard on. I cut the beard already. I took the little corners on the bottom and glued them in so it'd be more of a rounded beard at the bottom rather than square. So I just glued those corners in, if you can see that. And then I put a little slit at the top of the beard to go around his nose up here. And so now I'm going to glue him in place. Just kind of tuck the top of him right at the top of the hat. Angle that so you can see. Let me take a peek here. Oh, I got glue right on the front of the nose. It's going to be okay. Not sure how I did that. Now, you're going to make the mustache by going like that and using hairspray to style the beard. Something I usually tell everybody that I use the sticky, strong hairspray that I can get. Put that on there, but I'll spray that in a few minutes. The next thing I want to do is put the sleeves on, and I saved a little bit of time by doing the sleeves. I worked on the sleeves ahead of time, and I got one bell, what I'm calling a bell sleeve, done. And we're just going to attach it by, I'm going to trim it up a little bit. It's still a little bit too long. I like to make them long and then trim them to how I want, customize them to the gnome. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how to make one of these. I made a little pattern this time. You know, I'm not much for measuring, but I did make this little pattern. It's out of this piece right here is an 8x4 inch piece. And I made this little pattern so that I can just fold it over the 8x4 piece. Let's get rid of the tape. I could just fold it over and then lay the little pattern on there, if you can see what I'm doing. I hope you can. So you just want to mark your spots, mark your shape on that folded piece of fabric like that. Set your pattern aside for next time. Then you have a shape like that on your folded 8x4 piece of fabric, felt. We're using felt. And then just cut along the lines. I think that might be easier. And then we will glue them together. I'm still really liking my Gorilla glue gun that I just got a few weeks ago. No complaints. While that sets up, I'm going to go ahead and glue the pom-pom on the top of the hat. When I do that, I don't leave the pom-pom whole. I cut off a little bit on the bottom. It'll give me a little bit of a flat area to glue them onto. Give you a little bit of a flat area so it goes flat on the top of the hat. There's a loose little string over here I'm going to cut off. Okay. See if our sleeve is ready. Sometimes I use a long paintbrush when it's narrow like that to try to get it to come up. So while I work on that for a minute, I'll be right back. When you put the blush on the nose, make sure you put your hand underneath it because it will real easily get into the beard. You'd rather have it fall on your hand. I just want a little bit of pink onto that. Let me see. Really easily. So I've got the glitter on his nose and the blush on his nose and a little bit of glitter on his hands. And what I want to do next is to show you the all-important balloon bouquet, which was quite a stumper for me when I was trying to figure out how we were going to do a balloon bouquet for him. It didn't just come to me. It took me a couple days of thinking to come up with the idea how we were going to do this. And this worked really well. So see if I can show you how to do this. So I've got my pipe cleaners. And I take them all and I fold them down, oh, maybe a 1/2 inch. in every direction. I've got 6 of them. You want to just have them going in every direction like that. I take the bottom of the pipe cleaners and I twist them together. This is where he'll be holding on to it, and it'll be glued onto him. It's always harder to make it for you than it is to make it here in my studio by myself. So I'm hoping that I'm showing it to you so you can see how I did it. I turn them. Now that I've turned them at the bottom, I've got to turn them again at the top to get them to be going both ways. We want them to go both ways on going out, not in. So you set that aside, and then you take the pom-poms, which are 1.5 inch pom-poms. A lot of them are 1.5 inch, and some of them are 1 inch pom-poms. I found these at Joann Fabrics. You can get them shipped to you right now, I think. So you can get these certain colors that I have with the teal peacock. This is a peacock blue felt, if you can find that on there. And you should be able to do that. And you want to make a round balloon bouquet. So how we started was I just took took a pom-pom and attached it to another pom-pom and continued like that until I got kind of like a middle section. I'm thinking about where the colors are. I don't want to have to put too many colors of the same together. I want them to be varied through there. I'm thinking about the sizes. And I know that I don't want to put too much glue because I don't want it to drip through and make it look like a big mess. So you just kind of making your middle level of your kind of a ball. So I'll have to put 2 pom-poms on the bottom. I can feel that I've got a lot of glue in there right now. I want to put 2 pom-poms on the bottom to get the ball shape. Let that keep setting up. Now I've got it pretty much in a little balloon bouquet ball. So what I do is, you might find a spot here or there that you think that you want to put a little bit more glue still. What you do is you just take and you're going to put glue on the part, the 1/2 inch part that you bent out. And you're going to put glue on all those. And then you're just going to lay it right on there, making sure that they all have a balloon that they're sticking to. And lay it right on there and hold it up and let it glue on. So let's do it. This is the 3rd time I've done this. I did one to begin with just to try it. And then I did one for the gnome that's next to me. And this is the 3rd time I've done it. So let's hope that it works good for us. So then you just set it down into your ball, making sure that they're all on to something. So the balloon bouquet is glued. It's setting up just a little bit. It's a little bit warm still. But I wanted to tell you that once I got him to this point, you see the little pipe cleaner sticking out here and there. I went around with my scissors and I snipped off that little bit of extra. That's why you don't see it on that balloon bouquet. I snipped off the little bit extra. It looks more like that. I also trimmed the bottom of the balloon bouquet so you didn't have such long pieces to work with. Try to get it more in proportion to the gnome. And after we get that, we're just going to glue them right underneath there. Glue his hand towards the front. And you see how it's getting to be more like this one. So I think it's safe for us to cut off the little extra tips. I'm going to go around and cut the little tips. Got the little ball a little bit there. So I've got the balloon bouquet all set up and ready to go. I went around and trimmed off the extra pieces of the felt cleaner where they were sticking out and tried to clean that up pretty good. And this piece right here where it's wrapped up, where we wrapped it up earlier, is going to be the part that we glue. We trimmed some of the end off and we're going to glue this part under his arm. So we're going to put it there first and get an idea of where it's going to go. And then when we do it, we're going to kind of pull his arm up a little bit. And I think is what I'm going to do, now that you know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to turn him and do it where I can see him a little bit better. Okay, so what you want to do now is you're going to actually glue some of the pom-poms to the hat. Whatever ones look like they're touching that hat, just put a little glue on there, just a dab of glue on there. I see I'm going to do it a couple times. We want it to, if you can see on the other one, we want it to stand up straight like that. And how you accomplish that is you glue a little bit to the hat. So that's kind of tricky doing two. I see. Okay, so now I've gotten the balloon glued to the hat there, and I want to work on his mustache a little bit, pulling that out and forming the shape of his mustache. I'm going to spray him a little bit. To hold that hair in place. I want to glue this hand in. So that's what we want to do now. We're getting down there. I've glued his hand in. Got his balloon bouquet on there. The next thing we want to do is kind of fiddle with the happy birthday card and the flowers. So it's like he's presenting balloons, a card, and flowers to the person that gets the gnome. So we want to put the card and the flowers on this hand, and I kind of play around with how I get them glued on there so they look right. Just one the hands glued down afterwards. So let me turn that so I can see it a little bit better. I think we'll put the card on first, trying not to cover up the happy birthday, just with a dot of glue. Just dot on that happy birthday card. So the last thing we want to do is put on the flower, a little flower bouquet that I made. I just took a couple of stems of flowers from my flower bouquets back there, and I put them together with a pipe cleaner. Now we're just going to tuck those in. We'll just go right behind. Hope that I gave you enough information to be able to do it. If you have any questions, please leave me some comments below. We're going to link the shoe video below so that you'll be able to do the shoes if you've never done those before. Just remember to put the marbles inside the shoes, because that seems to be working pretty good, and not having to plunk them down. You'll see when you watch the video what we mean by plunk them down. Just set them down and they're standing up pretty nicely with the marbles in the shoes. You got to pack them pretty full though. And that's it for today. I do have another project coming up, and I want you to leave me comments if you have any questions on this project. I want you to subscribe if you've never subscribed, and I want you, don't forget to like, okay? Thanks a lot.